My family demanded I marry my dad's best friend's son when I eloped with my boyfriend instead. They got furious now, they're blowing up my phone. But guess what? I just sent them a wedding photo. I'm Zara, and I've been dating Logan for almost 2 years now. We met at our friend Andre's monthly game night. Those casual hangouts where everyone brings snacks from the dollar store and spends hours playing board games. My parents are traditional, not the wealthy kind of traditional with summer homes and country club memberships, but the kind where dad works overtime at his company and mom stretches every dollar at the grocery store. They've always had this family come first mentality, which usually means whatever dad says. Goes, Logan and I have been keeping our relationship low-key around my family. Not exactly hiding it, but not making a big deal either. He comes to some family events, brings flowers to my mom, which she aggressively puts in the kitchen instead of the living room, and tries his best to talk spee. Orts with my dad, who usually just grunts in response. So yesterday I show up for our regular Sunday dinner. Everything seems normal. Mom's making her famous pot roast that she stretches to last the whole week. Dad's watching TV and my sister Vera is texting on the couch. Then I notice extra places set at the table. Who else is coming? I ask Mom while helping her with the salad. Oh, Warren and Dexter are joining us, she says. Warren is Dad's best friend since high school. They work together. I barely know his son Dexter, except that he's 27 and works with them too. The dinner starts normally enough. Warren arrives with Dexter, who's wearing a button-up shirt that still has the creases from the store. My mom keeps serving him the best pieces of meat while giving me these weird, meaningful looks. Vera keeps kicking me under the table and widening her eyes like she knows something I don't then. Between the pot roast and Mom's box mix brownies, my dad clears his throat. Zara Warren and I have been talking a molar. Edie getting that weird feeling in my stomach. You know, the one when you just know something bad is coming. Dexter here is ready to settle down. Warren jumps in, beaming like he's announcing a lottery win. And we thought, what better match than our two families coming together? I nearly choke on my water. Would it make sense? My dad continues, not even looking at me. Warren and I are expanding the business. Dexter's going to take over. His father's part, eventually you two would make a good match. I'm sitting there, fork frozen halfway to my mouth, while Dexter stares at his plate, looking about as comfortable as I feel. The brownie in my mouth turns to sawdust. I'm dating Logan. I say, stating what everyone at this table already knows. My mom waves her hand dismissively. Oh, honey, that's just a young girl's fancy. We're talking about your future here. Your mother's right. Dad adds, Logan's a nice enough kid, but he's not going anywhere. Dexter here has a real future in the business. I look at Dexter, who's still fast. Inundated by his brownie, he hasn't said a word this entire time. Warren's grinning, like he just solved world hunger and my parents are looking at me expectantly. This is insane. I said, I'm not marrying Dexter. I love Logan. My dad's face does that thing where it turns slightly purple. This isn't about love, Sarah. This is about family and future. As I'm heading for the door, I hear my dad, you have until the end of the month. To end things with that boy, we're announcing the engagement at Warren's birthday party. I didn't say anything else, just grabbed my crossbody bag and left. Logan was already waiting in his car around the corner. We'd planned to go to Walmart after dinner to buy some stuff for his apartment. I got in the car, hands shaking, as I tried to buckle my seatbelt. That was yesterday. Today, my phone's been blowing up with messages from my mom about being reasonable and thinking about the family. Ver sent me a string of WTF texts followed by warnings that Dad's serious about this, even my cousin Op. Ilya called to ask if it was true. Logan and I stayed up late last night in his tiny studio apartment talking about what to do. We've actually been planning to move in together when his lease is up next month. Nothing fancy, just a small 2-bedroom in the same complex where his friend Andre lives. We've been saving up, keeping it quiet now. I'm wondering if we need to speed up those plans. I've muted most of my family on my phone, but I can see the message count growing. The only one I've responded to is Vera, who's sworn not to tell anyone that I'm staying at Logan tonight. I don't know what to do next. I love my family. But this is crazy, right? Like, it's 2024, not 1825. Who even does arranged marriages anymore, especially over something as mundane as a business? I need advice. Logan's being supportive, but says, it's my decision to make. I just know I'm not marrying Dexter, no matter what kind of future my dad thinks. It'll give me first update. First, thank you all for the overwhelming support on my last post. It's been 2 weeks since that surreal Sunday dinner, and I'm writing this from Logan's couch at One House A. Mem, stress eating, dollar store, cookies, and trying to process how everything spiraled so quickly. Our water heater just broke, and the landlord isn't responding to texts. So this seems like the perfect time to update you all while waiting for the kettle to heat water for a shower in the sink. The day after my last post, I waited until my parents would be at work and went home to grab some essentials. I thought I'd be in and out, but Vera was homesick from her community college classes. Between shoving clothes into my duffel bag, she filled me in on what I'd missed. Turns out, this whole situation is way messier than I thought. The truth came out in pieces. Warren's business is struggling badly. Dad's been stressed about money too. Evident from the kitchen faucet that's been dripping for months. This arranged marriage wasn't just some random traditional values thing. It's about combining the businesses. They want to use my dad's contracts to keep Warren's company from going under real romantic Things got even more complicated when I discovered my parents had already put down a non-refundable deposit on a wedding venue. They'd booked it for Warren's birthday party, but apparently signed it as an engagement celebration. My mom's been showing the contract to everyone as proof that I can't back out. Now, the venue is some fancy converted barn that probably cost more than I make in 3 months. The next few days brought a constant stream of missed calls and emotional messages. My cousin Opilia dropped by Logan with some winter clothes she'd borrowed and shared that my mom's been calling everyone in the family, crying about how I'm throwing my life away. The family gossip mill is working over time. Apparently, Dexter still lives in his parents' basement and spends most of his time playing Fortnite. What a catch. I'm missing out on work hasn't been much better. My manager coincidentally cut my hours after my mom called the store, crying about her troubled daughter. I'm now scrambling to pick up shifts APS just to make rent. Logan's dealing with his own issues. His car failed inspection, and the repairs would cost more than the car's worth. Our living situation is challenging. Logan's studio apartment wasn't meant for 2 people. We're stepping over each other constantly, and his downstairs neighbor keeps complaining about extra noise to the landlord. The bathroom sink is currently holding my entire skincare routine because there's literally nowhere else to put it last night. I found my mascara in the kitchen cupboard next to the ramen noodles. That's the level of organization we're working with here. The financial strain is getting real between reduced hours at work and unexpected expenses. Who knew moving would require so many random purchases? We're both feeling the squeeze. I've started selling clothes on Poshmark just to build up some savings. Logan's been picking up odd jobs on TaskRabbit, but it's barely covering the basic. We've become experts at stretching groceries. Rice and beans have become... Me close friends, the situation hit a new low when I ran into my parents at Walmart. While discount shopping, what followed was a scene straight out of a bad drama. tears in the cereal aisle, accusations about family loyalty, and vague threats about Warren selling to some big corporation. We just grabbed our essentials and left, but not before Mom noticed the generic brand items in our cart and started crying harder about how I deserve better than this life today's fresh hell involved discovering that my parents had apparently been saving for my wedding since I was born. Mom sent photos of the wedding fund passbook, a not so subtle reminder of what I'm throwing away. The guilt trip came with a side of childhood photos and a screenshot of current wedding venue prices to make matters worse. Our planned apartment fell through. The landlord decided to rent to his nephew instead, so we're back to square one. Logan's lease expires in 2 weeks, and finding an affordable place is proving harder than expected. His friend Andre offered us his spare room temporarily, but accepting feels like admitting defeat, especially since Andre lives in his parents' garage conversion and his mom still does his laundry. Logan's been incredibly supportive, but I can tell this is wearing on him too. Yesterday, I found him staring at ramen packages with this defeated look that broke my heart a little. The extended family's involvement is the worst part. My phone's constantly buzzing with messages from relatives. I barely see all experts on why I'm making a huge mistake. Ver keeps me updated on the home front, apparently. Dad's now talking about writing me out of his will, which would be more threatening if there was anything to inherit. When I catch myself wavering, I look at Logan, maybe playing Wordle on his phone, or doing that thing where he hums while washing dishes. And I know I can't give in. We're not some business merger assets. This is our lives. Even if, right now, those lives involve sharing a single bath towel because we got to grab mine during the Great Escape. For now, we're taking it day by day, apartment hunting during lunch breaks, blocking new numbers as they pop up, and trying to figure out our next move. At least we have each other. Even if our current date nights consist of comparing rental listings over microwave ramen second update. Hey Reddit, some of you might remember me from my previous post about my parents trying to arrange my marriage to my dad's best friend's son, Dexter. Well, a lot has happened in the past week, and I'm writing this from a 45-night motel room while eating leftover pizza and still wearing my 30 Amazon dress. It wasn't exactly the wedding I dreamed about as a kid, but honestly, it was perfect. In its own weird way, the decision to elope came after finding out my parents had started sending out pre-engagement party invitations to that fancy barn venue. They booked. My sister Vera sent me a photo of the invitation. They'd even picked out my future married name and everything. That was the final straw. Logan and I had been talking about marriage anyway, especially since we've been living together for the past few weeks one night, while sharing a bowl of microwave mac and cheese and watching our neighbor's cat through the window. We've named her Princess, even though she's not ours. We just looked at each other and knew we planned it for a Rand Tuesday. Not because it was special, but because we both managed to get the day off work and the courthouse had an opening. Andre Logan's friend, not my dad's, agreed to be our witness. I bought a simple white dress from Amazon that honestly looked better in the photos, and Logan wore his one good button-down shirt, the one without any wrinkles. The morning of everything that could go wrong, the zipper on my dress got stuck. Logan's car made that weird noise again and wouldn't start. We had to take an Uber to the courthouse, splitting the fare 3 ways with Andre because we're all broke. The driver kept asking why we were dressed up, and T said we had a court appointment, technically true, right? The ceremony itself took maybe 10 minutes. The clerk was eating her lunch while processing our paperwork, and there was a guy in the corner, frantically filling out jury duty forms. Not exactly romantic, but we couldn't stop grinning like idiots. Andre took photos on his phone. Most of them are blurry, but there's one good one where Logan and I are just looking at each other and laughing. Because I almost dropped the 12 ring we got. We celebrated at the diner around the corner, split a plate of fries and a milkshake because that's what was left in our wedding budget. Andre insisted on paying for his own coffee, saying it was his wedding gift to us. The waitress gave us free pie when she found out we'd just gotten married. First bit of wedding luck we'd had all day. Then came the hard part, telling people we decided to do it through a simple Instagram post, just that one good photo Andre took with a casual caption, so we did a thing the first respo. NSC was from Opelia, just a string of heart emojis. Then Vera called simultaneously laughing and crying. She was happy for us, but worried about the fallout, which, well, she was right to be. My mom saw the post while at the grocery store. I know this because she called me from the parking lot sobbing so hard. The card attendant asked if she needed help. She kept saying things about how she'd never be able to show her face at church again. How could I do to the family? What about the venue deposit? Dad's reaction came through. Vera, apparently, he threw his phone across the room when he saw the post. Warren. His best friend immediately drove over to their house. Dexter surprisingly liked our Instagram post and even commented congratulations, which probably didn't help the situation. The extended family response has been a mix of shocked Facebook messages, angry texts, and a few quiet congratulations. My cousin tagged me in a TikTok about ungrateful children, real mature. We're currently laying low in this motel because our apartment application is still processing, and Logan's lease ended yesterday. The room smells like old cigarettes, and the Wi-Fi keeps cutting out, but it's our first home as a married couple. We've been watching random YouTube videos on Logan's phone and ordering cheap takeout. Making the best of it, the wedding venue called. Turns out my parents tried to cancel my engagement party, but still lost the deposit they're apparently telling everyone. I forced them to book it, which is a creative interpretation of events. Money's still tight. We're both picking up extra shifts when we can. And I'm selling more stuff on Poshmark. The apartment we applied for isn't fancy. It's a ground floor, one bedroom with a weird layout and no dishwasher. But it would be ours. The leasing office said they'd let us know by Friday. Fear has been our main source of news from home. Mom's apparently redecorated my old room. Already took down all my photos and everything. Dad's telling everyone at work that I'm going to through a phase. Warren's wife keeps trying to arrange a family meeting to fix things. The strangest reaction came from Dexter himself. He sent me a DM saying he's actually relieved because now he can finally tell his dad about his girlfriend. Apparently, they've been dating for over a year. And she's not just a streamer, she's also a single mom. Warren would definitely not. Approve Logan, and I are taking it day by day. Sometimes, I wake up panicking about everything we've done. But then Logan makes me laugh by trying to cook ramen in our motel room's coffee maker, and I remember why I chose this. It's not perfect, but it's ours. Third update. Sometimes, truth comes in the most unexpected ways. In my case, it came through a stack of water-damaged papers I found while helping Vera clean out our flooded basement after last week's storm. The basement incident happened when Vera called, asking for help. Mom and Dad were at some church fundraiser, and she was panicking about water seeping in Logan, and I drove over. To help save what we could while moving boxes to higher ground, I found Dad's old filing cabinet had tipped over papers everywhere, mostly soaked, as we were sorting through what could be saved. I found something interesting: loan documents, lots of them, all with Warren's signature, and my dad as guarantor. The dates went back years. Small loans at first, then bigger ones. The most recent was from just before this whole marriage mess started. Some had read final notice stamps, others had payment schedules with missed check marks. It was like looking at a timeline of Warren's business slowly sinking. But here's where it gets weird. Mixed in with the loan. papers were emails printed out between Dad and some big development company. They were interested in buying both businesses, Dad's and Warren, but only if they came as a package deal. The offer was actually decent enough to clear all the debts. And then some, the catch, they wanted proof of stable succession planning. Basically, they weren't buying unless they knew the businesses would stay together long term. That's where Dexter and I came in, the perfect solution to show the businesses would be family run for years to come. While we were still processing this, Vera found more papers. Turns out Warren had been hiding how bad things were from everyone, including his wife. He'd mortgaged their house twice without telling her. My dad had co-signed everything, probably thinking Warren would turn things around eventually. The real kicker? A draft of a contract dated just before the whole marriage proposal thing. Warren had already started selling off equipment to cover payments. Dad was about to lose everything he'd built up over 20 years because he trusted his best friend. I took photos of everything before the water could destroy them completely. Sent them to Dexter too. He deserved to know. His response was just, well, that explains the rush. Apparently, his dad had been pushing him to settle down for months, even tried to break him up with his girlfriend the next day. Opilia came over to our apartment, bringing housewarming ramen, because that's our thing now. She had more tea. Warren's wife found out about the second mortgage and has moved in with her sister. Dexter finally told everyone about his girlfriend and her kid and moved in with them. Warren staying with his brother, supposedly, to give her space, but probably because she changed the locks. Dad still won't talk to me directly, but he's been asking Vera weird questions about my new place, if I'm eating enough. That kind of thing. Mom switched from angry Facebook posts to sharing missing my daughter memes, which is progress. I guess yesterday I got a text from Warren. I'm sorry. I haven't responded yet. Not sure. I will. Logan's been amazing through all this. He doesn't say much about it, just holds me when I need it. And makes terrible jokes when I get too serious last night. He tried to lighten the mood by suggesting we could start our own business, but like something simple, maybe selling those little hats for cats online. We doing okay. The apartment's slowly coming together. Found a real bed frame on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. Our upstairs neighbor's kid practices trumpet at 7 a.m. every day, but we're getting used to it. I'm picking up extra shifts at work, and Logan started doing food delivery on weekends. It's not glamorous, but the bills are getting paid. Vera says Dad's been in his garage a lot lately, probably trying to figure out what to do next. The development company pulled their offer when the merger fell through. She overheard Mom telling her friend on the phone that they might have to sell the house, the one they've lived in, since before I was born. Part of me feels guilty, even though I know none of this is really my fault. Another part is angry that they tried to use my life to fix their business problems. Mostly, I'm just tired of the whole thing. Last update, I wasn't planning on posting again, but I just had the most surreal Thanksgiving experience. And I thought you all might want to know how things turned out after the whole arranged marriage drama. First off, Logan and I are still in our tiny apartment. We finally got a real bed frame. Goodbye, air mattress, and the knee. Iber Kid has moved on from trumpet to drums. Progress, the upside, is we found out our other neighbor works at a furniture outlet, so we got a slightly damaged couch for practically nothing. It has a weird stain that kind of looks like Danny DeVito if you squint, but it's comfortable. The biggest change happened about 2 months ago. Mom started sending these weird thinking of you texts, usually late at night, when she was watching those crying videos on Facebook. Then she asked if we could meet for coffee. I agreed, mostly because I was tired of dodging her at the grocery store. We met at that diner where Logan and I had our wedding reception. She cried into her coffee. I awkwardly stirred my tea and somehow we ended up having an actual conversation. Turns out, Dad's business survived barely. They had to downsize, sell some equipment, and move to a smaller office. But they're managing. Warren's company wasn't so lucky. Speaking of Warren, he and his wife are officially separated. She got the house in the end. Remember those secret mortgages? He's still living with his brother, who apparently has started charging him rent. Dexter's doing surprisingly well. He moved in with his girlfriend, and her kid started streaming on Twitch himself and actually makes decent money doing it. His mom told my mom he seems happier than he's been years. He and Logan even game together sometimes, which is weird, but kind of nice. Dad took longer to come around. The breakthrough came when our car broke down. Again, seriously, this thing is held together by hope and duct tape. At this point, Logan was trying to fix it in the apartment parking lot when Dad just showed up. Vera had mentioned it to Mom, who mentioned it to Dad, and well, he didn't say much. Just started helping with the car. Now they have this weird thing where they text each other car maintenance videos. Dad still barely talks to me directly, but he'll send Logan links to auto parts on sale, baby steps. I guess. Thanksgiving was the real test Mom had been hinting for weeks. Chaos that we should come. I was hesitant, but Logan pointed out that free food is free food. We're still on a tight budget, so we went. It was awkward, so awkward. Aunt Alice kept making pointed comments about unconventional life choices. Uncle Bob pretended we weren't there, but Vera and Apelia ran interference. Like champs, and Mom actually put our wedding photo on the mantle right next to that horrible school picture of me from 7th grade with the braces and butterfly clips. The surprise guest was Warren's ex-wife. Apparently she and Mom are still friends. She brought this amazing sweet potato casserole and spent most of dinner telling everyone about her journey of self-discovery and her new hobby. Dad looked like he wanted to disappear into his mashed potatoes. The real highlight was when cousin Andre, not Logan's friend Andre, keep up, announced his engagement. Everyone immediately started planning this huge wedding, talking about venues and flowers and whatnot. Mom caught my eye across the table, and actually winked progress. Our apartment is still small, but we've made it home. The ring finally turned my finger green, but I kind of like it matches our aesthetic. Logan's car is still making that noise, but we're saving up for a new one. Slowly, very slowly. Work is work, nothing exciting, but we're both getting by. Logan started taking some online courses and computer stuff. I'm thinking about it too. But for now, I'm just trying to pick up extra shifts when I can. Vera comes over a lot, usually with food from Mom. I think she's Mom's spy sometimes, reporting back about whether our apartment is clean or if we're eating vegetables. But she also brings gossip about Warren and Dexter, his girlfriend's kid, now called